2160, humanity believed it had tamed the unknown. Sensors replaced senses, protocols replaced decisions, and distance was treated as an absolute wall against risk. In deep space, everything had to be measurable, predictable, obedient. Helios-7 Station was built to confirm that illusion. Isolated from commercial routes, it orbited a silent sector where nothing was meant to interfere. Biological and cognitive research was conducted by a minimal crew, while every heartbeat, every neural impulse, and every micro-variation of the body was recorded in real time. There, nothing escaped observation. For 27 days, the station operated within all parameters. Then, without warning, without failure, and without noise, it ceased to respond. There was no distress call. There was no structural collapse. No system entered emergency mode. Helios-7 did not die. It remained active, conscious, in silence. I observed when silence ceased to be absence and became method. The engineer trusted numbers. To him, space was hostile but logical. When he began external maintenance, the sensors indicated absolute stability. The first sign did not come from pain, but from perception. Something was out of rhythm. The body felt slightly delayed in relation to its own intention. He moved forward anyway. The next sensation was internal compression, as if the organism were being recalibrated without permission. There was no injury, no impact, yet the muscles began to respond out of sequence. 2 steps later, his legs stiffened violently. It was not paralysis, it was active resistance from his own body. The pain arrived whole. It did not begin at a specific point. It did not grow gradually. It installed itself all at once, cutting through muscle, nerve, and thought. The sensors recorded neural activity incompatible with the absence of physical damage. He dropped to his knees, conscious, lucid, understanding every second of what was happening. He tried to move forward. The body refused. When he died, there were no external marks, no organic failure, only records indicating something new, physiological adaptation to an impossible stimulus. The physician noticed it before the alarms. It was not a sound nor a visual warning. It was a minimal coordination error, and motor command that arrived late. An object slipping from her hand. She tried to stand. Her legs failed. She logged into the systems, her voice already unstable, that the body was no longer obeying. The pain did not come as an attack, but as method. Long waves, separated by intervals too short for recovery. The brain tried to anticipate the end of each cycle. It never succeeded. She tried to sedate herself. The chemicals entered the bloodstream, but the body ignored the effects. There was no pain blockade. There was no loss of consciousness. The physician understood too late that it did not intend to kill her quickly. It was testing limits, measuring responses. The sensors showed continuous suffering with no associated injury. Brain activity remained organized to the extreme. She died seated, leaning against the wall, eyes open. Seconds before death, the records showed neural stabilization, as if the organism had learned enough. The commander watched the recordings without interruption. It was not an accident. It was not a failure. It was not sabotage. The station was not under attack. It was being used. He armed himself by instinct, not by hope. He moved through the corridors expecting to find something he could confront. Fear came before pain, an anticipation so intense that physiology began to fail without any external stimulus. The sensors recorded extreme stress levels. When the pain began, every attempt at resistance caused it to intensify. The body learned quickly that struggling amplified the suffering. He collapsed conscious, understanding that there was no error to correct. He died knowing that it did not need to be present. The biologist believed in isolation. She locked herself inside the laboratory. She shut down internal communications. She reduced stimuli to the minimum possible. Light, sound, movement, everything eliminated. For a few minutes it worked. Then the first scream escaped without permission. Short, instinctive. The pain was not constant. It was fragmented. Intense bursts followed by long silences. Each burst seemed calibrated, enough to avoid immediate failure. Hours passed. The sensors recorded prolonged suffering without loss of consciousness. When she died, it was not from organic collapse. It was from cognitive exhaustion. The last crew member did not try to flee. He watched everything. He studied the records. He understood the pattern before the sensors confirmed it. He sat in the central module and took a deep breath. The sensors recorded something unprecedented: absence of panic. When the pain arrived, it was identical to the previous ones. The body reacted. Consciousness remained. But he did not resist. He did not scream. He did not beg. He did not try to understand. Neural activity indicated complete acceptance. He died faster than the others. The rescue team arrived days later. Stable power, correct orbit, operational systems intact. The bodies were preserved. All had died alone, at different times, in the same way. Extreme pain, consciousness maintained, no identifiable physical cause. The sensors did not register unknown energy. They registered behavior. I have observed this before, when mankind did not yet know how to write. It was not supernatural. It was not divine. It was an Acrunian cognitive dominator class. They do not need to be present. They need to teach. The body was the instrument, pain the method, consciousness the target. The human species still insists on interpreting pain as a failure of the body, when in truth it is language. Where there is consciousness, there is the possibility of instruction. Where there is anticipation, there is continuous suffering. The Acrunian did not operate systems, did not alter circuits, did not touch visible matter. It acted in the space between perception and response. Every conscious second refined the method. Every reaction was observed. Every psychological limit mapped. In the remote past, this occurred without records. Entire tribes learned to fear before they understood. Learning preceded explanation. What occurred on Helios-7 was not an exception. It was a demonstration. In the future, technology merely made the process observable. Sensors did not prevent the learning. They only documented it. The station did not issue a distress call because it did not recognize an external threat. Everything was functioning. The error was human, believing that the absence of physical damage means safety. The Acrunian does not destroy. It conditions. It teaches until resistance ceases to exist. When the rescue team abandoned Helios-7, they took reports, bodies, and silence. They did not take understanding. Distance continued to be treated as protection. Protocols continued to be followed. Other stations were built. I observed every repetition. As long as there is consciousness capable of anticipating pain, the method will remain valid. As long as humans believe fear is a defect rather than a tool, the pattern will repeat. I do not intervene, I record. Between the first scream and the last silence, I remain. I am the observer. I saw this begin, and I saw it return. Subscribe. Enable notifications. There are patterns that cross time, and I am still recording.